Hi guys, welcome back to another yoga practice, and today is going to be a half very gentle flow, and we're going to throw in some more restorative or like constructive resting poses. So today's practice, you are going to need a block at some point and a strap as well. You can obviously like make your own, kind of use a book or something, or like a belt or a tie. But with the strap, we're going to make it into a circle shape. So if you do have a strap at home, you're going to grab one end, post it, pop it through both rings, and then pop it back through itself through one of the rings. So you're going to make like this loop. So this is what we're going to need later, but I just wanted to get that out of the way so you don't need to faff like halfway through your practice. So a little belt strap here. We're going to have a block just to one side, and let's come down onto our back. So come on down, and however you want to like sprawl out is totally fine, but my suggestion maybe is today, soles of the feet together, let the knees butterfly outwards. Now, if this is too intense through the groin and hip area, you can slide your toes further away from you to take away some intensity, or bring the heels closer to the groin for a little bit more. Hands can rest on the inner thighs, on your belly, maybe even behind the head, totally up to you. And then either finding a little point on the ceiling that you can rest your eyes onto or close them down. Allowing yourself just a moment to settle into stillness. Allowing the body just to ease off into the mat. Without forcing or with too much or without any straining, take a big breath in. And a big sigh out. Whew. Allowing ourselves to arrive on the mat to the practice. And just check in with how you feel today, physically, mentally, emotionally and energetically. How are we doing? We're going to start today's practice with a short breathing technique. You can keep the eyes closed. We're going to bring our hands onto our lower belly. Just somewhere that your elbows can still be relaxed onto the mat. And then as you inhale, see if you can breathe down into your hands so you fill up the belly like a big balloon. And as you exhale, empty out. Belly button slightly pulls to the earth. Lovely. Continue in your own time. Inhaling deeply, fully down into the pelvis. And as you exhale, empty out fully, getting rid of all the stagnant air at the bottom of the lungs. Keeping the facial muscles and the jaw really relaxed. Enjoying each and every breath. Wonderful. And then bringing the hands onto the lower ribs. So still somewhere that your elbows can relax. And then as you inhale, breathe into your hands. Feel your ribs expand, maybe in an outward direction this time. And then as you exhale, feeling them close in towards one another. Lovely. Inhaling. And exhaling. So feeling that lateral breathing. Feeling the ribs separate as you inhale. And as you exhale, feeling them close towards one another. One more full breath here into the hands. And let it go. Whew. Good. Now, final time, bringing the hands up onto the chest. Your fingers might kind of brush onto your collarbones. Elbows are still relaxed onto the mat. Breathe into your hands. Big breath in. And let it go. So breathing into that upper part of the lungs. As you inhale, feel the collarbones lift, the back body expand. Making sure the neck and the jaw are nice and relaxed. There's no tension gathering up there. Wonderful. One more breath here. And as you exhale, allow your hands to drop down by the sides, releasing all and any effort of the breath. And just noticing how you feel now after that short breathing practice. Bringing the knees towards one another so you can use your hands to close up the knees so the soles of the feet are flat onto the earth. Good. Inhale, float your hands high overhead. And as you exhale, let them fall behind you. You can leave your hands resting here. You can grab opposite elbows if that feels nice. Good. We're going to take a little flow here. So as you inhale, press into the feet, lift the bum. And then as you exhale, lower down the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back. Good. In your own breath, inhale to lift. And exhale to lower. Just notice how that lifting and lowering of the spine feels. Maybe it's almost like a little massage for the vertebrae. Maybe it feels like a little bit more of a workout for the glutes. Good, and then taking one more in your own time, so inhaling to lift. Expansive breath, and as you exhale, lower down. Good. Bringing the right knee in towards the chest, give it a little hug now. Extending the left leg out long. So find what feels good on this side. So for some of us, knee to the chest, you might need the knee more to the side. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, guiding that right knee over to the left, and then open out through your right arm. Good. Have the palm of your right hand facing up towards the sky. Breathing into the twist. And just notice where you feel it. So for some of us, it's the front of the shoulder, maybe into the waist and back. For some of us, you might even feel it through the side of the hip here. There's no right or wrong. Good. As you inhale, bring the knee through center. Place it onto the mat and then hug your left knee in. Good. Either towards heart, chest. You might need to have a little bit of a move around. Find the perfect position for you. And then lengthen that right leg. Feel that opening through the hip. Big breath. And then as you exhale, guide that knee all the way over to your right. And then open out through the left palm facing up to the sky. And see if you can release all and any effort here. So like gravity is just kind of holding your bones in place. Lovely. Inhale, bringing the knee through center. Bring both knees in towards the chest now. Give yourself a little hug. And then hands onto the back of the knees. Take a few rocks up and down the length of the spine. Chin tucked to chest, just to look after the neck. And then on your next time, propel yourself forward. Come find an all forwards position, but this time you're going to take your hands as wide as your mat and your knees as wide as your mat, or as wide as you can. If the width of the mat is too wide, don't kind of over exaggerate it if it's going to not be comfortable. Lovely. And then let's take some circles here. So let's start in a clockwise direction. So pushing the hips forwards, over the shoulders, and then back. So big circles might feel good on the shoulders. I feel it a little bit more into my groin and my lower back area. You can even close your eyes and just notice where you maybe feel it the most. Good. And then circling the opposite way. And it can be as subtle or as exaggerated as you need today. Wonderful. And then come back to a neutral place with the spine. Bring the knees in hip width and the hands in shoulder width. Good. Taking the right foot out towards the right, foot flat on the floor. Inhale, reaching the hands up into the sky. And then as you exhale, bring your right hand down your right leg. So for some of us, we maybe reach for the knee, maybe it's a little bit further. Getting a nice big side stretch. Wonderful. Inhale, coming all the way back up, bringing the hands onto the hips. And then we're gonna shimmy that right foot where our right hand was in that all fours, and then sinking into the hip. And just be mindful this doesn't kind of pinch into the lower back, so you can always be up quite high, or for some of us, you might want to get a little bit lower if that feels good in your left hip. Good. Inhale, reaching your hands high. And then as you exhale, bring your left hand across. Your right hand maybe comes to your lower back. Maybe you can grab the back of your left thigh. And see if you can keep your chest nice and proud so we're not kind of caving into it. We'll be lifting up out of the chest, enabling us to twist a little more. Big breath in. And as you exhale, unwind, bring hands to mat, and then come back to all fours. You can give that leg a shake out if it needs. Good, and then taking your left foot out to the left, leg nice and straight. Inhale, come on up. Palms to touch. And then as you exhale, left hand down that left leg. Right hand up and over. Get that nice big stretch for your waist. Good. Inhale, coming up. Hands to hips. And then shimmy your left foot where your left hand was. So your feet are on like train tracks almost. And then sinking into that hip. So you might need to have like a little bit of a experiment. If you go too far, don't worry, you can always come back from it. Making sure we're nice and cautious of the lower back. Shoulders are relaxed too. On your in-breath, float your hands high. And then on your out-breath, go for the twist. So the right hand comes across the body, grabs for the outer knee. Now the tendency is to look down. See if you can keep your chin parallel with the floor. Proud chest. Inhale. Exhale to twist. Just that little bit more. Lovely. Inhale. Floating the hands high overhead. Exhale. Hands to mat. Come back to all fours. Give that left leg a shake if it needs. Good. Spread those fingers nice and wide, tucking toes. And then sending your sit bones back to your heels. And we're going to lift up into downward facing dog. So keeping the head in a neutral place. Begin to send the sit bones sky high, keeping the back nice and straight. So the knees might be quite a lot bent for this first one. That's cool. And then take a little pedal out through the feet. So imagine you're like squashing grapes underneath your heels. Nice. Head and neck are nice and free and relaxed. Good. On your next in-breath, you're going to come forwards to a high plank. And then we're going to lower down to our tummy. So feel free to use the knees or you can come down in one long line. Good. Once you arrive, bring your elbows underneath your shoulders into this sphinx pose. Good. Slightly dragging the hands back towards you. Feel that nice opening in the chest. Neck is nice and relaxed. You can stay here, or maybe we experiment with bending our knees. Now, if this gets too intense, you can bend your knees a little bit. You don't have to bend them at all. But wherever we are, we're going to take a little roll out through the ankles. Good. You might hear like a few pops and clicks of your ankles. Good. Maybe take a little sway of the feet from side to side. Good. Just a light compression for the lower back. Nice opening in the chest. Good. And then gently placing the feet down. Hands underneath the shoulders. Nose to mat. Big toes to touch. And then settle back into a child's pose. So hands can act as a little pillow, or your forehead to the earth. And then come back to that 3-part breathing that we did at the beginning. So see how that translates into the back body. So inhaling, feeling it fill up the belly and press into your lower back. Inhaling, feeling it into the sides, towards the lats. And as you breathe all the way to the top, you might feel it at the base of the neck, upper back. Wonderful. Bringing those hands outstretched in front. Slowly coming forwards to all fours. Tucking toes. And then find your second downward facing dog. Good. Keep lifting up through those sit bones. Lovely. From here, walking the feet to the hands and the hands to the feet. So you kind of meet in the middle of your mat. Feet about hip width, maybe a little bit wider. And take a nice lazy forward fold. So you can shake out the wrist. You can grab opposite elbows. The most important thing is that the knees are soft and the head is completely free. So just notice if you're trying to hold your head up at all, maybe even trying to look at the screen, just let it go. Crown of the head is pointing down. And as you surrender the weight of the head, you might find you get a nice kind of stretch through the upper to middle back. Even the neck and the jaw becomes free. Good. And then soften the knees, bring your fingertips on the mat. You can bend the knees as much as you need. Heel toe your feet to the outside edges of your mat and grab your block. You're going to place it kind of just behind your heels and we're going to sit down into a supported yogi squat. So I'll do it from the front so you can see. So feet are out nice and wide. You're going to come down, sit onto your block or your book or whatever you have. Toes pointing out. Lovely. And then elbows slightly push into the inner thigh just to feel that opening in the groin area. Good. Grab your right hand onto your right ankle and then your left hand is going to reach back and up. Lovely. So keep your hand on the inside of that leg so you feel it in the groin. Big breath in. And then as you exhale, bringing that hand down, let's go for the opposite side. Grab the ankle, keep it in front of the knee. So just be mindful if you're going like this, we want to be on that inside. Inhale, lift on up. And this is so nice to do on a block because you can be more supported and enjoy that opening a little bit more without having to worry about balance. Lovely, big breath in. And as you exhale, bringing the hands down. Awesome. We're going to grab this block out from underneath us. Come down, take a seat. Hands behind. And just take a little kind of shake out of those legs. Good. Wonderful. And then taking your feet as wide as you can. So if it's too much of a strain to take your legs out super, super wide, don't do it. Have it kind of here, even less, more so, totally up to you. So just take them as wide as comfortable and then see if you can lift up out of your seat. Good. Inhale, float the hands high overhead and then as you exhale, bringing your right hand down, sweep your left arm up. Good. You can let your head kind of be free, you can look down. We want to find a side stretch but also kind of find it in the lower back side area. So you might need to have a little mooch around to kind of find the spot. And once you're there, take some nice big deep breaths. Wonderful. Inhale, come all the way back up. Let's go to the opposite side. But you need to have a little bit of an explore to find this kind of meaty muscle here that gets tight when we sit quite a lot. So see if you can find that moment. And free up the neck as well. Don't feel like you need to hold it up. You can just totally let that neck go. Good. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Bringing the hands underneath the back of the knees. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet together. So this is where we're going to need our strap. So this is where we're going to end today's practice, and we'll end it here together, and you can take a Shavasana or continue on to a different practice if you wish. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Don't worry if your knees are up here, that's still valid. With this loop that you've just made, you're going to make it into a figure of 8. So just one twist and you're going to make it into an 8 shape. Your knees are going to go into these holes. So one knee in here, one knee in here. And that's going to support you like a bolster, and it just feels so nice when you come down onto your back. Now, if you're quite open in the hips and you're like, I'm not feeling anything and I'm not really getting much from it, make your loop bigger. So you can just loosen off that strap a little bit to give yourself some more room so your legs can come out wider. Now you don't want to be in a place where you're not supported though, so you really want to feel like that tension. You see that's tight through the strap, so you feel nice and supported, but you're still getting an opening. Option to have a block underneath the back of the head. We're going to come down onto the back. And it should just feel like a really nice, like supported opening through the hip. You can even take a little sway from side to side and then eventually land in stillness. Resting your hands onto the front body, close off the eyes. Maybe take a swallow to release through the throat and through the neck. Without forcing or straining. Breathe in through the nose. Soft sigh out through the mouth. Bringing your body to this constructive resting pose to really kind of restore yourself both physically and mentally. So maybe taking just the next few minutes out of your day to enjoy being here in stillness. Nothing else to do, nowhere else to be, completely at ease. Thank you so much for joining me for today's practice, and I'll see you tomorrow.